Thank you, Kevin. And distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. And on behalf of Enterprise Singapore and the Singapore Standards Council, a very warm welcome to all of you to this Standards Forum at the Industrial Transformation Asia Pacific 2022. And for today, we are very honored to have with us a very distinguished list of speakers from business leaders all the way to experts, who'll be sharing with you their invaluable insights and also experiences on how to make manufacturing shop floor processes, materials, waste management, and supply chain to be more sustainable through the use of I4.0 solutions and also standards. So I hope that at the end of this forum, participants will be able to have some takeaways on practical tips on how to help you in your sustainability journey. So let me set the stage by giving you a very quick overview of the current global sustainability landscape. In 2015, the Paris Agreement was signed by participating countries to meet the goal of limiting global temperature increase to below 2 degrees Celsius. And since then, scientists have assessed that the impact of climate change is more severe than previously thought. And so hence, at the COP event, COP26 event held in Glasgow in 2021, the global community agreed to adjust the temperature increase to below 1.5 degrees Celsius. And in order to reach this goal, each country will have to play a part in reducing its greenhouse gas emissions. And many of the signatories have developed their nationally determined contributions known as NDCs, where they have set targets for mitigating emissions and commit to update their NDCs every 5 years. And global campaigns such as the Race to Zero will help rally leadership and support from businesses, cities, regions, and investors to promote sustainable growth and also a smooth transition to low carbon economies. Currently, more than 60 countries have pledged to achieve net zero emissions by 2050, while some countries such as China and Indonesia have pledged to achieve net zero emissions by 2060. And at budget earlier this year, Singapore took a very decisive shift and announced that we will raise our climate ambitions to achieve net zero emissions by or around mid-century. And since then, we have been consulting closely with citizens and industry stakeholders and taking their views into consideration as we finalized our long-term low emissions development strategy, including setting a specific net zero year. And we will also be reviewing our 2030 nationally determined contribution before COP27 next month. And as with Singapore's approach to climate action, these goals and strategies will be backed by relevant policies and actions. And we believe that this action-oriented approach will make Singapore a partner of choice for climate cooperation with other governments and businesses alike. So let me move on. As more countries and companies make net zero commitments, this will likely generate greater awareness and also actions towards addressing the various environmental and social challenges that we are facing today. And from the investment investors' perspective, we have observed a growing trend where the environmental, social, and governance considerations are being factored into their portfolio's growth trajectories. And so, for instance, Temasek Holdings has set a target to halve emissions for its investment portfolios by 2030. Companies are also trying to raise the environmental performance of their supply chains and expect their suppliers to incorporate sustainability practices. And the Together for Sustainability initiative is an example of a membership-driven initiative, and the members comprised chemical companies committed to make sustainability improvements to their operations as well as that of their suppliers. Regulators are also implementing top-down climate action roadmaps that will encourage responsible investments and business plans. Efforts like carbon taxes that you have heard of, and also emission trading schemes will help prepare companies to reduce their carbon emissions through innovation and resource optimization. And from the consumer's perspective, we have also seen an increase in demand for more sustainable products and services. And employees are also observed to value working in companies with sustainability commitments. Similarly, Singapore is also advancing our efforts in the sustainability development agenda. And as you might recall, the Green Plan, which was launched last year, is a whole of a nation movement to drive the Singapore National Agenda on Sustainability Development. And the plan has 5 pillars as shown on the slide. And in support of this Green Plan, the Singapore Standards Council has developed more than 60 standards across 4 of the 5 pillars that you see earlier, namely energy reset, sustainable living, green economy, and resilient future. So examples of some of the standards that we developed include the energy efficiency for building services and equipment, sustainable packaging framework, and also validation, monitoring, and reporting of greenhouse gas emissions. And these standards will be relevant to the manufacturing industry as manufacturers, shift focus towards sustainable production and consumption, starting from product design to procurement to even waste management. Enterprise Singapore and the Singapore Standards Council will also be exploring new standards to support national initiatives and emerging areas. So examples include the new standards on the charging system for electrical hovercrafts, smart grid, and also recycling of electronic waste. At the international front, the International Organization of Standardization, or ISO in short, has embarked on the London Declaration that was signed at its 2021 General Assembly. And the declaration promises to embed key climate considerations into every new standard that is created, and also add considerations on climate change to existing standards when they are being reviewed and revised. And ISO is developing 2 new standards to support countries and companies as they move towards net zero. And the first is on ISO 14068 on the management of greenhouse gas and climate change. And this standard aims to provide definitions and parameters for carbon neutrality to ensure that such claims are credible. And the second is an International Workshop Agreement 42. And this is actually a guideline which aims to harmonize the concept of a net zero and lay the foundation for accountability mechanisms and also consistent reporting. And companies can consider adopting all these new standards that are coming up, as well as existing standards to support their sustainability efforts. As the agency championing enterprise development, Enterprise Singapore has developed various programs to support our local companies embarking on their sustainability journey and help them to actually capture new opportunities in the green economy. And one such example is the Environmental Enterprise Sustainability Program, or known as ESP in short. And this was launched last year, and it has numerous initiatives to support businesses at different stages of their sustainability journey. And for example, for those starting out, you can enroll for subsidized training courses to help build knowledge in sustainability areas such as sustainability trends, risk and opportunities, and also hot topics like decarbonization and sustainability reporting. And enterprises that are ready to embark on capability development projects in sustainability related areas can tap the enterprise development grant to help defray the costs incurred for implementing such projects. And examples of projects that we have supported include adoption of sustainability standards, resource optimization, and also sustainable product development. And since the launch of the ESP in October last year, over 300 SMEs have actually participated in various awareness and education courses. And we have also supported some 40 sustainability-related projects under the ESP. And so, for example, a local SME, the Progress Galvanizing Private Limited, has been supported under the ESP for a project in implementing ISO 50001 on energy management system. And through this, the company has been able to improve its resource efficiency, optimization, and also reduce its operating costs over time. And to complement the ESP program, we have also done a standards mapping tool to actually guide companies in identifying relevant standards that can help them in adopting relevant standards to support their sustainable business practices. And you can scan the QR code to find out more about these programs. So in closing, on behalf of Enterprise Singapore and the Singapore Standards Council, I would strongly encourage those of you, especially who are starting on the journey and who are able to also join us as experts in the standards community and leverage on the Enterprise Sustainability Program to get started, to help you in your sustainability drive. And so on this note, I wish all of you a very fruitful and engaging session ahead. Thank you.